At this particular time, we will be in a few weeks, because if you count it in terms of days, it's simply 700 and something. But a few years to come, 2 or so years to come, we will be dealing with a problem of election. And so at this particular time, it was needful for us to understand who within our camp has received grace to deal with technology that can be able to help. We are well aware that the IEBC and the electoral body in the past has suffered defeat in terms of not transmitting honest opinions in previous elections. I mean, we have seen these wars. And so this is what we are saying, that looking at where we are going, these young people have something that many do not have. There is something we know that if many elders can just work with, not to see them as threat, we can be able to gain and capitalize on them. And therefore, as a leader, we sat down and we saw fit that we can come up and build. Remember, the word there is every weapon of war. At this particular time, because we know that there is a lot of issues, we sought to build systems that can be able to help the electoral body, which is the IEBC. And so we thought to bring it to the people in view that the electoral body will have an opportunity to hearken to these young people. They are not ignorant. They are not crazy. Most of these particular technologies that we are seeing people buying, I mean, I remember the technology of 104 billion, if it's true. What technology was that the government bought? You will be so shocked. In our campuses, there are tech gurus that could have built it for a certain amount of money you can't imagine. But because we are looking at these young people as threat, they are not threat to any leader. They are simply people that are crying for their space, to be given a space to show their expertise. And I kept on saying the last time that we spoke again, that it is part of a leader's work to study change. It is very important. If any nation is going to go forward, I mean, look at a nation like Haiti. Just go and study the day Haiti gained its independence. You realize, I think it's 1804, if I'm not wrong, somewhere there. Till today, it's simply because the leaders are not able to study change. There are things that are meant to change, whether you like it or not. Remember, there was a time that the elders fought for multi-party. At some point, it was only one party. You remember there was an issue of Kanu. Then change came. And every time there is change, there is growth. So it is foolishness for a leader to fight change. You cannot fight change. Change must be embraced if it is righteously handed out to the people and is going to be to the benefit of a nation. And because of that, we have been building men and raising men in the tech farm. And I wanted to bring them on board to you so that you can understand what we are doing. Today we are going to give you an idea of what we are building. It's already in the pipings. We will be soon unveiling a fully fledged electoral system that would request the IEBC to have a look at it. And at that particular time, if you are outside there and you're in that department, the IT department, you are free to come and help us so that we can build something that is credible, that is that can help the people of Kenya, that can guarantee that our votes are not in any way destroyed or any kind of thing. And therefore, I would like to present to you the following men. And I would like to read for you their, a little bit about their bio, and then I'll be calling them up so that we can be able to pick that which they have in mind. Let me explain this. The first one, whose name is Jesse Muridhi, founder and CEO of ARC Systems Limited. You may join me. The second one is Peter Kibaki, founder and CEO of a company called Yet Kenya Limited, technology provider company. The third one is Charles Juma Otieno, Chief Technology Officer of the company called Yet Limited Company. These are their achievements. Number one, development of full operations of payment gateway platforms used to license payment service providers across East Africa and diaspora through partnerships. So it means they are not starting now. What you are seeing there is their capacity. Number two, development of blockchain applications, including tokenization of real estates, decentralized blockchain application for on-off-amp deployment of our own developed crypto coin. Number 3, pioneer the creation of the most widely used low-tech record keeping application for African SMEs. I hope you have seen their capacity to help digitize their profiles, fully operational and used by several NGOs in Kenya. Number 4, consulting for fintechs and financial institutions seeking regulatory license in Kenya, currently with several operations clients. Number 5, in the process of finalizing and building the crypto neobank that would enable users to access banking services without having to go to their branches, from opening accounts to making transactional global. The neobank supports both crypto and flat currencies. Number 6, building a simple USSD, WhatsApp, and POS hardware-based application to connect small-scale agro-processes which farmers and aggregates to solve the inefficiencies within Africa's agricultural supply chain by helping them to source affordably conveniently. Now, these are the men that we wanted to share with you, and because I know that they are, when they go outside there, in fact, these men are mostly in our churches, but because our pastors, we don't know what to do with them, they are taken outside there to do wicked things, because the world will always embrace them. And so my appeal to many of us leaders is to be able to see, to grow in capacity so that such people can submit to our ministries. It's very important for us to see that God is not only calling us to war with our fingers. Some people are being called to war with their minds. If you remember the scripture, all weapons of war. And so I would like to give them an opportunity to explain themselves and look at that which we are building, in hope that the IEBC system and the IEBC people can be able to see that which these young people are building, so that we can connect and together build something that is great and will help our nation. Let me step aside so that they can begin their little presentation, and I hope it will be a blessing unto you. Thank you very much.
Fellow Kenyans, my name is Jesse Mureithi, the founder and CEO of Arc Systems Limited, where we build decentralized infrastructure in the line of governance technology. Today, we stand on the precipice of a new dawn, a moment that will be remembered not just in our history books, but in the hearts of every Kenyan who dreams for a better, fairer, and more transparent future. Stalin once said that it is not who votes that counts, it is who counts the votes. To this end, we are developing a next generation voting system powered by blockchain technology, one of the most secure digital tools in the world today. For decades, we have cast our votes in the hope that they would count, not just be counted. And now, through the power of technology, we are taking a bold step in ensuring that our voices will never be silenced again, that your vote will count and matter at the very end. So we are going to give a highlight and present to you in depth and qualify this system and why it is viable for us in our nation for such a time as this. The following is the problem statement. Traditional voting systems in Kenya face numerous challenges that undermine public trust and efficiency. These issues range from significant financial burdens to vulnerabilities that compromise the integrity of the electoral process. With a nation whose economy is struggling to take off, it is critical for the powers that be to consider systems that are going to be cost-effective in order to minimize government expenditure and maximize development on other means. So the first highlight here is the high costs of elections. At a later slide, I will take you through the numbers, and I will be able to show you how that for the past 10 years, the cost to conduct an election has been incremental. With every election cycle, we tend to spend more year after year. If we are going to become the Kenya that we want to be, we need to find more sustainable ways. The next thing is vulnerability to fraud. Systems are susceptible to tampering, ballot stuffing, pre-marked ballots, and double voting, compromising election integrity. One of the strong selling points of our system is that it is a blockchain-based system. As you know, since its inception in the year 2009, blockchain technology boasts rigid security, such that it has yet to be tampered with or hacked. It is therefore imperative as a nation, if we want to go ahead and become a leading nation as far as democracy is concerned, we need to adopt systems that foolproof our democracy. The next thing is low turnout. Inconvenience and accessibility issues limit participation, especially among youth and diaspora voters. When we adopt a system that is technology-based, it is incentive to the many young people who are eager to participate in this democracy in a convenient manner, yet secure and ensuring security. Also, this system will enable people, especially in the diaspora. We have approximately 4 million Kenyans abroad. It is a sad statistic that only 10% are able to participate in our elections. So this system is going to cast the net wider and be more inclusive. The next thing is limited transparency. Opaque tallying and reporting processes often lead to public distrust and skepticism in election outcomes. I would like to pose a question to you. If you have voted before, how sure are you that your vote ended up in the final tally? It is quite opaque, and therefore we are bringing to you transparency. You need to have the confidence that your vote is not just counted, but it counts. The next thing we will look at, or rather a problem we are solving, is slow results. This system will ensure live transmission of the tally of the votes. Not to wait until the election cycle is closed for us to be subjected to a period where we have to wait and be anxious for results that will eventually be disputed, leading to even more costs at the courts. So we have to narrow down and come to a system that is live and transparent. High spoiled votes is another ache in our current systems of voting. User errors and unclear instructions cause a substantial number of ballots to be rejected, wasting votes. This system gives you the opportunity, once it is fully deployed, will give you the opportunity to, or rather it enhances your capacity to be more accurate, because it has less tamperage with, man is to error. So the less interference this system has, the more efficient and reliable it is. The last one, and quite an improvement, is environmental impact. We are talking about a paperless ballot. High paper usage for ballots and related materials generates significant waste and has a negative ecological footprint. We spend a lot printing ballot papers in the billions, transporting those papers, buying ballot boxes, and all that kind of thing, only to use these papers once and then dispose them off. Environmentally, that is not sustainable. If we are to build a nation, a Kenya, that you are proud of, not just in the athletic sense, but also in matters democracy and governance, we need to mark all the boxes at the global stage. To this end, I will invite my colleague to take you through the next part. Thank you.
Hello there. Thank you so much, Mr. Jesse, for that breathtaking presentation of the problems bedeviling our nation. I would want to take this opportunity to first introduce myself. My name is Peter Kibaki. I'm the CEO and founder of Young Eagles of Transformation Kenya and the Eagles Group of companies who we've been in the tech space. For now, this will mark our 5th year in the tech space, and we've been providing blockchain-based solution. So this is to submit to you that these are not novices. We might be young, but we've at least gathered some reputable experience, and all those in the Kenyan financial space, especially in the payment service industry, will bear witness that these are not new faces. These are faces that they know. These are faces that you've interacted with, and most of those that have used our solution, they have found them to be unparalleled, and some of those solutions are in use, and people are using them for transaction purposes. I want to also take this opportunity to thank our mentor, who opened up a space, a safe space for us. If you can see from my behind me, you can see one of my CTO, the Chief Technology Officer. We looked for a place whereby we could be hosted, a place whereby we could be mentored, because we were young and we were very ambitious, but we found a safe haven here with our mentor. So thank you for this opportunity. I'm here to present the solution that we've been able to come up with. And this solution is a blockchain-based electoral management system. And this is what we are saying. We are saying that why don't we face off the traditional voting system and embrace a technology that can be able to solve our problems? Why do we keep on fighting the same problem, yet through technology? And we can see in some other countries like Estonia, they've been able to embrace this. Russia, they are now embracing blockchain-based technology to be able to solve their national problems, especially when it comes to voter registration and even the voting process. And we are talking of, this is not just, I want to put this disclaimer, this is not just a solution, we are not trying. This is not something that we are trying. This is something that we saw a problem and we dived deep. We did not care who will embrace or who will not. We wanted to present a solution to Kenya for the Kenyans themselves to choose whether to embrace or to reject, so that they will not say that there were no people who gave us an alternative. We want to echo for it to be known that we have come up with a solution and we are giving out there to Kenyans that there is an alternative, that we can actually have a free and fairer election. Our innovation blockchain voting system directly addresses the critical challenges facing the traditional elections in Kenya, delivering a secure, transparent, and efficient electoral process that restores public trust. And we are talking of several features that we've been able to capitalize on. We're talking of enhanced security and identity. And we have used in this system advanced cryptographic protocols and decentralized architecture to be able to create an impenetrable voting system. As my friend has explained, we are using unique digital identities to ensure one person, one vote integrity, while sophisticated encryption makes electoral fraud virtually impossible. We are talking of an unmatched transparency, whereby every vote is permanently recorded on a public immutable ledger that enables real-time monitoring and independent verification. This unprecedented transparency builds public confidence and also eliminates disputes over elections' legitimacy. We all understand that through the blockchain, you can, it's public, it's a decentralized blockchain. So it's public to everybody. Everybody who wants to verify any vote can be able to verify it publicly, but you can't be able to tamper with it. It's immutable. We are talking of cost-efficient and instant results. For over time, I've been at the tallying stations, not once, not twice. I've been there severally. And one of the things that always angered me the most is that we have to sleep there all night counting the physical votes. Sometimes we are not even accurate. I recall sometimes my friends, they would take and they would just fill forms. How transparent is that? How safe is your vote? Are you sure that your vote was counted? And we are talking of a cost-efficient and instant result transmission. Using this digital infrastructure, we are able to eliminate costs of printing, logistics, and manual counting processes. We are talking of instant verification and automated tallying that delivers election results in real time, not days, while dramatically reducing operational expenses. Part of what we are also addressing is the increased participation and eco-friendliness. We are saying that Kenya now has an opportunity, just like in the US, just like in other countries like Estonia. You have an opportunity to vote at the comfort of your house, safely and securely, and you are sure that your vote will count. So we are talking of these opportunity through accessible online voting, which will empower all citizens, including those in the diaspora communities, and youths to participate seamlessly. The completely paperless system eliminates environmental waste, while intuitive interfaces reduces spoiled ballots near to zero. We are talking of an era of technology, and we are saying that even the exported labor that we've seen our government export, that this time round, if you are willing, you can vote. If you are willing that we come together and push these, you can be able to vote wherever you are, and your vote will be able to count, because you are not a lesser Kenyan when you are out there. I want to take you through the voter registration process, so that I want you to understand, to have a feel of why are we pushing this. The registration process will be like this. At the start of the registration, there are two options. So for the people with the smartphones, the first option is to download the mobile application. So we have been able to concord these into a mobile application. So the technology will be in form of a mobile application. Just like M-Pesa. Why are you safe using your M-Pesa? Yet is not even on the blockchain. But you trust that you can be able to save your money on your M-Pesa app. Yet, it's still not on blockchain. We are saying it's still not the most secure platform. So we will be able to create an application whereby you can be able to download it. Option 2, if you don't have a smartphone, for the old people, you will be able to visit a nearby polling station where you will find them with a device to be able to register you. The second process is that you'll be able to submit your identification. We want to prove that you are a Kenyan. So you provide your ID documentations, that is your national ID or your birth certificate. We will be able to also capture your biometrics. So if you're using the mobile app, what is provided there, you can do it via the fingerprints, facial recognition, or even voice recognition. So that will be an additional authentication to your identification. Then we will be able to complete your mobile verification by making a refundable mobile wallet transaction. The reason why we are saying is a mobile wallet transaction is because we are building it on blockchain. And so if you've been able to use blockchain before, you will understand when we talk of smart contracts, you'll understand when you talk of the mobile wallets. So we will be able to make a transaction as proof of registration. That transaction can be 1 shilling, which is refundable. To just prove is an additional means of authentication. On top of that, we've added a one-time password to enforce or enhance the two-factor authentication. We'll be able to offer alternative biometric registration for those who have difficulties. We'll be able to have the palm vein scan, the retina scan, the iris recognition, and even the hand geometry, which will be a provision at the tallying station. We are talking of data verification. This is a point of concern. How are we verifying your data? So the system checks and cross-references all data on the blockchain to ensure uniqueness. It means you cannot be able to have more than 2 records of one identity on the blockchain. So the system will be able to cross-reference that. And then once it cross-references that, we'll have a blockchain ID generation, whereby a unique voter ID is created, and the blockchain identity is issued with a public and a private key pair. The public pair, the public can be able to access it for verification purpose. But the private key pair, that's your voting key. And then from there, you are ready to vote. Then once you're ready to vote, your secure blockchain ID allows you to cast a verifiable vote on the platform. However, we will need to tie your identification to one vote to ensure that only one person is able to vote. And that brings us to the voting process. So I want to welcome my friend to take on from here, to take us through the technical voting process. But I want to iterate something before I leave the scene. I want to say that Kenya, we have an opportunity as young people to be able to power something new, to be able to face off what is old, what has consumed us, what has made sure that we don't have a free and fair election. And we have a new dawn. We can choose to embrace it, or we can choose to reject it. We can choose to sit down there and complain. But we are not saying that we have money. Some of us, our father has powered us with the little he has to be able to get started. It's not that he has a lot, but we have sat there not looking for profits, but what we are looking for is a fair and freer future, which we know only us as the young people can pioneer. We have a chance to do something new as young people. Will we embrace it, or will we just watch and allow the old people spoil our future? It's something to think about. As I welcome my Chief Technology Officer, Mr. Charles, to take on the voting process. Karibu, Bwana Charles.
Thank you, Mr. Kibaki and everyone. My name is Charles Otieno. I am a Chief Technology Officer. I've been writing software for quite some time. Just to take you through the voting process, it's a very simple process because majority of the work will have been done during the voter registration, and because there are two important processes when it comes to the election. There are other many processes, but two main important processes, and that is how the registration of the voter is done, and how then the voter is then allowed to be able to make a vote. Mr. Peter Kibaki has already spoken about how we're able to make sure that only registered voters are, only Kenyan citizens with valid identification can be able to vote, can be able to register for the voting. So when you look at the blockchain technology, it's not as complicated as we might think. So basically, a blockchain technology is sort of like is like a big house with a big house where everybody have their own rooms, and then you are the only one who has a key to your room. So you can be able to sort of see and also track the different actions of different users on this. So as we take, so during the deployment of the technology, what we do is we use what our colleague Jesse has said, what is called smart contract. And basically, smart contract is a piece of software that can execute on its own. So what we are doing during deployment or during the start of an electioneering session is everybody agrees to the different rules, and then that rules is already programmed into the system. So that once the process kickstarts, there's no any human intervention, because the software will execute based on the different parameters that we'll be able to set. Now, the key thing is during the process of the registration, whether you are doing it on your mobile application or you are heading to the polling station, your identity, your biometric identification is converted into a unique global ID that will grant you access into the blockchain. And basically, blockchain is just a public ledger that everybody can be able to see in a transparent manner. So every time you come to identify yourself, only you can be able to, once you've been verified successfully by the platform that is self-managing, you're able now to unlock your access into the blockchain and then be able to cast a vote. Now, the most important thing about emphasizing on the smart contract is that as soon as you're done with your voting, the smart contract is banned. So you cannot be able to vote multiple times using that single identification. And as soon as that is done, then the vote is transmitted into the blockchain where everybody has access within a few seconds, a few minutes. And that, and because of course part of also the Kenyan law states that whatever has happened at the polling station is final, then whatever is being transmitted to the blockchain is final. And that means just like the process of announcing, but everybody will have seen the result in real time. So basically that, so one of the main reasons why we're also saying, because not everybody has access to smartphone to be able to access the application, but a significant amount of, if you look at smartphone adoption is growing rapidly, and by enabling citizens to be able to use their smartphones to be able to vote, you're also reducing the large traffic of people that are headed to the polling station, and that means even the polling station process becomes simpler. For the people who don't have access to this, can still be able to access advanced features through the devices that are provided at the polling station to be able to cast their vote, and then come back to be able to see what the vote result is. So I'm going to invite, Jesse to just summarize on the differences between traditional system that we currently have versus the blockchain system in terms of cost and other bits. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Let's now take a close look into the numbers. Numbers will always tell a story. Numbers always have a story to tell. And so with hindsight, we're going to attempt to look at what have we been spending with our current election model versus what are the potential savings that we could make by adopting the innovative blockchain-based election management system. So before you, on your screen currently, what you're seeing is a table that highlights the two sides to reveal these realities. As you already know from our presentation, we are using a paperless ballot if we adopt the blockchain system. Currently, now this data is from the 2022 general election. This is data that we have done research and it is verifiable. These are not cooked up numbers. This is the breakdown of the 2022 general election. To give you perspective, we spent approximately 44 billion Kenya shillings in the 2022 general election cycle. To paint the picture more clearly, we will look at this in terms of cost per voter. That same year, we had approximately 22 million registered voters. Now, if you take the 44 billion divided by the 22 million, it will give you an estimated figure of nearly 2,000 to 2,500 Kenya shillings. Now, the standard, the world standard that is required to conduct an election is somewhere around 500 shillings per voter. With that said, you can already see that we spent nearly 4 to 5 times more than the standard amount needed to vote per voter. The numbers speak for themselves that, if anything, there is urgent need to develop a solution. This is a solution that truly puts power back in the hands of the people. The Constitution is clear that it clearly stipulates that we need to have a free and fair election. So let us look at what we have here. Printing ballot papers, 3.5 to 5 billion, as opposed to zero costs, 0 shillings. Now these figures are in shillings. So that's 3.5 to 5 billion Kenya shillings for printing ballot papers, and a fully paperless system means no cost incurred as far as printing papers is concerned. Ballot boxes and security seals, that costed approximately 1.2 billion Kenya shillings. In the solution we stand to provide this, our beloved country, will cost us 0 costs, because we do not need ballot boxes and security seals. Polling station kits. Before I go to the polling station kits, I need to highlight that the ballot papers and the ballot boxes come with extra costs of transportation, storage, and the manpower that is needed to secure the movement of these papers from one place to another, basically that type of security. So those are additional costs. Polling station kits, we are talking about 12 billion in the current traditional election system. 12 billion Kenya shillings. With the dedicated devices that we propose to use as the hardware for whereby we put this software, which is the system, that is going to cost approximately somewhere in the lines of 3.5 billion to 5 billion Kenya shillings. So that's for the devices only, or the reusable wallets. As I continue, let me give a highlight or a very critical figure for this system. As we will see upon the completion of this presentation, adopting a paperless ballot system means that the costs are only high in the first cycle. The numbers here for the proposed blockchain management system, we are talking about a figure of nearly 14.6 billion, down from the initial 44 billion. So it means we will make savings of somewhere in the range of 70%, cutting down the budget by 70%. Now, this 14 billion is going to be decreasing with every cycle, because what we will need to be doing is to simply maintain the systems. We are not printing papers, we are not going that old route if we come to a place as a nation to adopt this system. So next we are looking at training staff, that is clerks and polling POs. That is approximately 5 billion Kenya shillings, as opposed to 2 billion shillings for the blockchain election management system. Transport and logistics, we are looking at 7 billion Kenya shillings currently spent in the traditional election management system, as opposed to 2 billion, because in the blockchain-based system, there's less physical movement. Next, we are looking at tallying and results transmission. 3.5 billion for the traditional system, or the system that Kenya currently intends to use, as opposed to 0.5 billion Kenya shillings. That's a difference of 3 billion. We are saving that much as far as tallying and results transmission is concerned, because the blockchain system is digital and automated. Voter education and sensitization, we are looking at 2 billion Kenya shillings for the traditional system, 1 billion Kenya shillings for the proposed blockchain-based election management system, because many of these things are included in the app experience. It means at the polling station, the dedicated device is going to make it simple for you to navigate the process, so it's not very complex. Next, we're looking at ICT infrastructure and licensing. That's 2.5 billion for the traditional system. The blockchain system, as I have said, its initial or adoption cost might be somewhere where we are looking at here. It might cost somewhere to 2 billion to 2.5 billion Kenya shillings. Note something, this cost is not going to be there in the next cycle. So it's only incurred in the adoption phase. So that's the backend blockchain plus secure cloud on the IPFS infrastructure. Security personnel and deployment, we're looking at 3 billion because for the 3 billion Kenya shillings for the traditional system, because as we saw on the ballot boxes and papers, they need to be physically secured. So it means we need personnel. So for the blockchain system, we are looking at approximately 1.5 billion Kenya shillings. That's almost half the cost of securing the traditional system. Yet, at half, or rather 50% reduction, we are looking at a more robust security infrastructure based on blockchain, because fewer tensions and less need for large force. Next, we look at polling station staff wages. 4 billion Kenya shillings spent every election cycle, and it is incremental. That is 4 billion shillings in the traditional system and 1.5 billion Kenya shillings in the proposed blockchain-based election management system. Reduction due to automation, exactly. Dispute resolution mechanisms, 0.8 billion, that's approximately 800 million for the traditional system, as opposed to 0.3 billion for the proposed blockchain system. Observer and monitoring costs, 0.5 billion for traditional system, 0.2 billion the proposed blockchain management system, which will be integrated into the software. Post-election logistics, 0.6 billion, approximately 600 million Kenya shillings for the traditional system, as opposed to 0.1 billion, that's approximately 100 million Kenya shillings, digital archiving only. As you can see, now if you compute these numbers, They will give you approximately what I've stated before. That's 44.6 billion for the traditional system as of 2022 general election, and 0.1 billion for this, 14 billion, pardon me, 14, somewhere around there, 14 billion if we go the route of this proposed blockchain system. And that is it. That is basically an attempt to paint this picture for you so that if whatever decision you make, you know there is an option available. Gone are the days when we will be forced to go with the flow, go with the wind wherever it blows. But we are living in times where it is possible to have options, options that help us to realize our goals more efficiently and more effectively. As we finish this presentation, I'd like to give thanks to our father, Bishop John C.W., for creating a safe haven. I know I'm not the only Gen Z who is giving a sigh of relief to be in a place where you are taught God with a difference. It's not just about, you see, the house of God is capable of bringing solutions. And it is a privilege and an honor to be in this environment where our ideas are not deemed diabolic or oppressive or shot down. So I want to give thanks as I hand back the mic to the man who has made it possible for us to share this solution with you so that you know it's there. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Brothers and sisters, I think you shouldn't even have left. Just carry on, come stand back where you are. I'm going to leave you with a part of the Constitution that speaks in regards to this so that you can see what the Constitution says in light to this particular issue. So this is what the Constitution says in regards to general elections. Article 81, General Principles for the Electoral System. It says that the electoral system shall comply with the following principles. Comply. Number one, freedom of citizens to exercise their political rights under Article 38. B, not more than 2/3 of the members of the elective public bodies shall be of the same gender. C, fair representation of persons with disabilities. D, universal suffrage based on the aspiration for fair representation and equality of vote. And E, free and fair elections which are by 1, secret ballot, 2, free from violence, intimidation, improper influence or corruption. 3, conducted by an independent body. 4, transparent. And 5, administered in an impartial, neutral, efficient, accurate, and accountable manner. I think I need to repeat the number 5. Administered in an impartial, you have seen with the idea that you have presented today. Neutral, you have seen with the idea we've presented today. Efficient, you have seen with the idea we've presented today. Accurate, you have seen with the idea we have presented today. And accountable manner, I think those principles have been put in the idea that we have brought to you today. Lastly, as scripture says, that do not let anyone, the writer knew that people have a way of looking down on people. Do not let anyone look down on you because you are a youth. For the people in office to assume that we don't know what we are saying because we are young, because we are pastors, you are very ignorant, and shortly from now your ignorance will be dealt with. Do not let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers in speech, in life, in love, in faith, and in purity. The speech part, young people, guard your tongue. Only intelligence will change a nation, not abuse. This is not time to fight each other. This is time to put on the platform our weapons of war. And the best weapon is not destroying a nation, but thinking on how to build it. We appeal to each and every person outside there. Bring out the best of what you have. And by the way, in case you're outside there and you are part of these systems, people that build the systems, we would like to hear from you. We would really like to hear from you so that we can see how we can build together. The next state of the nation will be probably presenting, we'll keep on presenting stages of what we have been able to build. And any question that has been asked, it will only be proper if it will be stored until at that particular time. I don't know if we have probably a one question or two that maybe we can ask. Okay, question from Marcel Craig. He says, we have a stubborn people in the regime. How will we navigate if they decide to shut down the internet? What is our solution in the case of such occurrence? Would you like to respond to that? Okay.
Yeah. So So when it comes to internet, there are different solutions that we can be able to plug into. Because globally, so globally there are of course some radio frequencies that can be used for communication and exchanging information. So plugging in things like Internet of Things, and even just like converting your own mobile device using the different frequencies that has been set aside freely. So these are actually some of the unlicensed frequencies that do not require licenses to be able to operate. Just plug them in. So these are different things that we can also be able to collaborate with. So may not be able to get so much into the details, but there are definitely some solutions around this.
Again, probably to add on what my brother has just said, to iterate on that, I think 2 years back, you remind me, we were able to come up with a solution of the internet, and we were calling it the NARENET technology. This NARENET technology was one of the aim was to bring internet freedom in the country, so that we don't have the occurrences whereby you find they've shut down Safaricom, they've shut down Airtel, and people cannot be able to connect to the internet. Part of the challenge that we faced when we tried to launch, actually, I think we did 2 masts. One was at Kibera, and it was functional. We tried the technology. We were trying to achieve a meshing of the entire country with our own supply of internet. We had built mobile applications that would convert your phone device through the GSM network. It would be able to convert your phone into like a mobile router, so that you'll connect to that internet via a mast. So we were able to set up one mast, which was functional. But throughout, part of the challenge that we face was, the government, the administration of the area that we were giving the internet. We ended up giving it for free to a police station and to a school, but still it was fought. It was hard for us to maintain the innovation, and we had to set the project aside. It's part of one of the solutions that we've been passionate to provide, but we've not been able to find people who can be able to come up there and power these solutions. We've been fighting through the road of technology with our brothers here for quite some time, but we've been doing this alone. And that's why even the electioneering system, all those solutions, trust you me, we've factored in all those challenges that might appear. Even if they decide to cut off the internet, there is a solution. But are there people willing to come up to power these ideas? So the solutions are there. Fear not, they are there. But are you willing to come up and power this idea? We can come together and come up with these solutions to even be able to power the elections and the innovations that we are bringing at hand. That's just what I wanted to iterate. Thank you.
Soon, the cartels will fall. I guarantee you. The cartels will fall. Safisha Kenya will take shape. Number two, we want to believe that the IEBC will not be ignorant to see how much we can be able to save, how many votes, because now by doing it at the comfort of your home, it simply means people in the US, all those millions of votes, they can vote, because you can imagine how US is almost the size of Africa. So for someone to leave South Africa to go where there is a polling station, it's not a walk in the park. And so the advantages that the system has to be able to bring and shed light on matters that can help reshape our nation is something that we want to request not to be ignored. Equally speaking, we are not the best of the team. And so if you're outside there and you have knowledge towards that which can be able to help us, we are willing to build together. We might be coming to Nairobi to do more presentations, so be on the lookout. Second question, we'll take this as our last question. Can different people vote using one smartphone? That makes it even easier, even for all people living under one roof? Can they vote using one phone? Would you like to respond to that?
Yes, it's a possibility. Of course, after you've been able to vote using that one phone, you will also be able to log out, and the other user will be able to log in and authenticate him or herself using that particular device. So that's a possibility. So whereby that one phone can be used to transmit that, because each and every voter is only can only use one smart contract. The time that smart contract expires, you cannot, there is no double vote entry. So it's a possibility. Yeah, thank you.
So this is my appeal to the electoral body. You have clearly seen that we have competent people. You don't need to buy, systems for exaggerated amounts of money. We are all willing to save Kenya. We all want a better Kenya. It doesn't mean because I'm a pastor I should just sit. It doesn't mean because you're an engineer you should just sit. Remember, the problem affecting the economy will eventually affect you. It is my prayer that such realities will find expression, and it is my prayer that the government will listen, or rather the institutions and the body responsible, and call such like-minded people. It doesn't even have to be us. We were just trying to show the possibility. We are working on this and we'll be presenting it to the IEBC, the electoral body system, with hope that they will look at it